I am back today with a video that I do every so often because technology shifts, I shoot more and more down at the range, I try new optics and my perspective changes over time, and I want to discuss the positives, negatives, compare and contrast the differences between a prism optic, a low power variable optic, and a flip to side magnifier behind a red dot. What we're actually looking at is three Monstrum Tactical products, either from their Banshee series, their Blackbird series, or their Ghost series, because they just released all three of these, and when they release them, they send me the new products, so I have all three here ready to go, and I've got a fresh perspective because I've all shot them back to back the past month, down at the range to make independent reviews. If you like any of these optics, at the end of the video, you can actually check out the full reviews or check the description before the linking, as well as the codes. The other cool thing about Monstrum Tactical is when they release a new product, they create a code specifically for my 704 Tactical viewers to save yourself some money, and a lot of the codes are going to be 20 to 25% off these optics, but that's not what this is about. Let's discuss the positives, negatives, and differences between the Prism, the LPVO, and the Magnifier. To start off, one of the first things a lot of people do when they want to take something hunting or take it a little bit further out than a basic red dot is they want some magnification. If they already have a red dot, a lot of times people are going to get a flip-to-side magnifier. Now, flip-to-side magnifiers have really improved over the few years that I've been using them, but they've really remained traditionally the same. Now, this is one of the new Monstrum Tactical flip-to-side Ghost magnifiers. These generally sell for about $120. With that code that I have for a limited time, they're 25% off. A lot of magnifiers are available in the 3x, and this particular one is available in the 5x. In a nutshell, the magnifier flips to the side, allowing you access to your red dot. While you're looking at your red dot, you can get that 1x magnification. When you flip this over, then you get the 5x magnification that takes shots at a distance. Now, the negatives to something like this is you have a big chunk of metal and glass, and in this case, a prism, on the side of your rifle, just hanging there, kind of obscuring your vision to the right or left side, depending on which way you flip it. The other negative to this is the eye box and eye relief, meaning how far away from the optic you can be, is generally very limited. Now, this one runs about $120, but even magnifiers that I've used that are $300 still have a limited eye box and eye relief and require you to be almost right up against the optic. Now, this one is, again, fairly good, comparable to a lot of the other flip-to-side magnifiers, but they all have those same limitations. A bulky feel, you can either flip them up to be a more streamlined feel, but then you can't use them well for CQB. You flip them to the side, they're a little bit bulkier, but then it's just not quite as nice when you're storing them or carrying them on a sling on a rifle. The advantages, though, where you can just simply remove this. Some even have quick detach mounts. So if you're primarily going to be just using a red dot, but taking it hunting once or twice a year and you want a little magnification, this may be a great option for you to flip it over. I also like this because it does give you that versatility of having a true 1x red dot on there and then dropping this behind multiple rifles. You could have 3 or 4 rifles that you want magnification behind, but you only want magnification behind them occasionally, so you can actually leave the red dot sighted in on all of your rifles and switch your magnifier from rifle to rifle. But in my opinion, I only have 2 rifles out of my entire collection that have magnifiers on them. It's not my personal choice, but there are a lot of advantages, but just remember some of the cons. The next one is a prism optic. A prism optic is a fixed magnified optic, which has really replaced a lot of those fixed power scopes. Back in the day, you would see just a 3-power scope or a 9-power scope or even a 4-power scope. Prism optics have really replaced this, and Prism technology has blown me away in its quality and performance over the years. If you're looking for an entry-level prism optic, the Monstrum Tactical make a few different series, including this Blackbird series. This is their new 5X version, which is a fixed 5X version with a circle dot reticle system. But there are also companies like Primary Arms that are making some of the best prism optics in the game. Unfortunately, though, you're going to have to spend closer to $300, but I highly recommend it if you're looking for a solid 1X prism optic with auto-on and auto-off technology, an ACSS reticle system built in, an ultra-compact design. Again, though, you're talking about $250 to $300 for something like that. But those 1X prism optics are awesome. But we're not talking about 1X prism optics. We're talking about magnified optics and what magnified version you want. So when you're talking about some other magnified prisms, you've got the company Monstrum Tactical, which makes some of my absolute favorite entry-level prism optics with good eye relief, good reticle selection, and a lot of times very, very good prices, especially after my code. This one's going to be $75 after my code, and they also make the 3X version. You can switch to a few other companies like Vector Optics, which comes in right at about $200. They're going to have different reticle selections, about the same glass clarity, but you're going to get a little bit more of a streamlined approach, a little bit better reticle selection. Then you're going to ship to the primary arms versions, and I've got reviews on all of these if you want to check them out on my channel. And the primary arms versions are going to be pushing, again, that $250, $300 mark, but you're going to get a little bit better reticle system, a little bit better eye box and eye relief. So there's definitely tiers to these things, but just in general, the positives of a prism optic is you get a rugged, robust, fixed view. Sometimes you can keep both eyes open and sort of use it as a pseudo red dot, and a lot of the negatives for the prism optics are again the same as the magnifiers. A more limited eye box and eye relief than generally, or absolutely, a red dot, but generally than an LPVO. So you're getting some nice stuff there, but you also have that limited trade-off of you only have one magnification. It doesn't work great at CQB, and then also it just depends on the configuration of that reticle system, what you can do at distance. In comes the LPVO, and that is currently my favorite option right now in this magnified kind of mid-range category. An LPVO, or low power variable optic, has a 1 power setting on a lot of these optics, and a lot of them now are becoming true 1 power settings. What we're looking at now is actually the Monstrum Tactical Banshee series. This is a 1:6 LPVO with a mount included in the box, and for reference, this is probably one of the best high-value LPVOs you can grab right now for well under $140 after my 20% off code, and it includes the mount in the box. Again, just like everything else, the LPVOs have different categories. Some of my favorite LPVOs are some of the Vortex Razors, but you're looking at right at about $1,000 for the PTSD Gen 2s, or some of the Razors are up to $2,000. So an LPVO spans the gamut from something like this. There's also cheaper things than this, but I would stay away from them. And then there's some really expensive stuff that I have on the channel that are well over $1,000 to $2,000, depending on the configuration you select. The cool thing about an LPVO in general, though, is it has that 1 power setting, and a lot of them have good eye boxes and eye relief, meaning they're a lot better than the prism optics, and they're a lot better than the magnifiers. You can be further away. You can be further left, right, up, or down, and still make out that reticle selection at the 1 power setting. You can also track something across a field with a very wide field of view. Both of these are going to have limited field of views compared to the 1X version of the Banshee or any other LPVO that I've reviewed on the channel, and I give more detailed specs and features in the review. But meaning you can see a lot more at the 1 power setting, left and right, and you can understand what's going on around you, so you can see, oh, I've got a couple of deer coming in here, well, the one I want to shoot still over here. You can watch them walk across the field, and then when you want to take your shot, you simply zoom in all the way up to potentially, anyways, the 6 power setting to take your shot. Most of them have illumination on the side. Some of the more expensive LPVOs, especially around the $400 and $500 price point, have daytime bright reticle systems allowing you to take shots very similar to a red dot. And then a lot of LPVOs, I mean, there are hundreds on the market, have different reticle selections allowing you to do bullet drop compensation. Even some are 1 to 10s, able to shoot out well past 1,000 yards with an LPVO, which is really insane when you think about it. Something that's going to be as good as a red dot as well as a precision optic. The technology is just dramatically improved on the LPVOs, and this Banshee you're looking at is really, in my opinion, one of the absolute best options that you can get for right around about $115 after my code, because of all of that advancement in the glass clarity, the eye box and eye relief, the reticle selection, and the durability just over time in general. There are so many optics I reviewed on the channel. It would be hard to summarize everything. But in a nutshell, if you're looking for a magnified optic and you don't have anything in particular you're looking for, you're just trying things out in general, I personally start out with an LPVO. That's what I go to 9 times out of 10. There are some very specific circumstances where I have a red dot that I like and I use, and I want to have a magnified optic occasionally. I do have a couple of magnifiers that are on certain rifles. There's even red dots from HoloSun that have kind of BDC systems built in for 300 blackout. So I love running those, and if I ever wanted to take that 300 blackout hunting, I would like to throw a magnifier behind it, so those are great options. There are also some cases where I do like ruggedized prism optics, where I know a rifle is going to be generally shooting at a certain distance primarily for its lifetime, and I don't need a ton of versatility, and I want something incredibly rugged and durable. Prism optics may be nice, but there's even less rifles that I have with prism optics fixed to them permanently that are not 1x prisms. And I want to clarify, there's a difference between a 3x, a 5x, and a 1x. The 1x is a whole new category that we'll talk about in another video. This one is discussing mainly the magnified optics and what you should put on a mid-range rifle. So that's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did I miss something? Do you agree with me? Do you completely disagree with me? I'd love to hear all about it. Also, all of the information on these high value ones, as well as my channel. You guys can go through my channel and just search everything that I've reviewed, but all of the information on these 3 particular ones with the codes to save yourself some money will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.